Hello YouTube, thank you for joining me on my last video of the final round. Today I'm playing my opponent who decided to bring Kyros. I didn't know what this opponent did, but activate May once per turn. He can show the top card of his life and then KO a character that costs 0, which is super spicy. Me and him are both undefeated at this point, so I'm expecting a really good game. So right here I do my standard turn 1 search, and I decide to grab the Sabo here just because I'm not sure what this deck really plays. So I'm thinking ahead, and I decided to grab the the Sabo to remove the Kuzan. Here my opponent plays a Rebecca and gets the Colosseum and plays the Colosseum and passes. Which is super cool because I have like no idea what they do in this deck. So right here I just decide to search, looking for my pieces, planning just to take it slow. And I pick up a baby Luffy, just grabbing the weenie bodies. I already have one Sabo in hand, so I don't feel like it's really needed to add. And you can never have too many little weenies. And I just swing for 7. Just to see what he does, just because in my head that his leader ability is directly tied to his life, maybe rushing him down to 0 so his his leader ability becomes a vanilla, was my thought process right here. My opponent plays down another Rebecca and he searches top 3, and he picks up the Kyros character card and plays it. He doesn't KO my Garp because that's a Rebecca exclusive ability, but this character is super sticky because if I were to KO it, he can just rest his Colosseum. So that's what I'm reading here. Him not getting his KO ability, but this is just being a very hard body or hard character to get rid of. And I just swing 5 just to poke and playing my Luffy just so I can start taking my own life as well as becoming a bigger threat. So our Luffy ability here, sad to see to let Sabo go, but that's okay. I'll be able to bring him back later through my combos. So after some thought, my opponent plays a Rebecca and grabs the Sabo from his trash and adds it to his hand. It'll be the last day. And at this point, I believe my opponent decides not to use Rebecca's secondary ability. And then my opponent uses 1 Dawn and plays Ice Age, making my Luffy a 0. And then he uses his leader ability, flipping over his top life, to KOing my Luffy character, which blew me away. I thought that was a super cool combo. Just being able to remove 1 body, my Luffy, which was an 8k body, for technically just a 1 Dawn investment. And here I'm just searching. I use the 3 bonds and I'm able to pick up a 5-drop Sabo. Finally being able to cycle cards in my hand and set up my trash is going to be really solid. I spent 5 Dawn and I played my 5-drop Luffy, which I don't know if it's correct, but my opponent's not swinging at me, so I just decide to use Luffy ability, just go down to 2 life before I Sabo or think about other routes that I can take. opponent starts off playing the toy soldier that I knew that was in his hand, targeting my Luffy, and he spends another 3 dot to play Hina, hitting my Luffy, and I kind of know what's about to happen right here. Uses his leader ability to KO my Luffy, which makes me sad, but that's okay. He replaces his searcher Rebecca to play Viola to put that top life back down. And here I think it's just a good time just to play my Sabo, being able to cycle. Just trying to see what answers I can find, just trying to clean up my hand. I have a lot of little weenies in my hand, and I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna get down to 0 life, but hopefully I can find answers. I pitched the ace because it doesn't have counter, and then I don't know if this is gonna be a misplay or a blunder, but I also pitched that Sabo, just because at this point I don't think he's gonna play Kuzan, or if he does, if he does, then I made a blunder. But yeah, so I just decided to swing 5 with Garp, and I believe I decided to swing 6 with leader as well. I am a liar. I decided to swing 5, just because I have that Garp. So David, who's playing right now, is a lot smarter than David, who is watching the recording. So I swing another 5, he counters, and then I'm gonna play Garp, just to search, just so I can see what kind of answers I can find. And beautiful, I decided to grab that 5-drop Luffy, so I can continuing taking my own life and being able to draw. So my opponent swing his Rebecca into my Garp, which I just let go. And my opponent is being very methodical. He has 3 cards in hand, because he's been protecting himself pretty well. And he decides to play the Sabo over his Searcher Rebecca, making sure everything cannot be KO'd, drawing 2, pitching 2, just so he's able to cycle and hopefully finding the answers that he's looking for. And at this point, my opponent swings 5 with Hina, and I was able to pick up my second Kikomoria. And he swings another 5, and I just have to be really careful on how I get down to 0 life, because I don't want to mindlessly take my own life and just get jammed for no reason and either lose my blocker Sabo or pitch a lot of cards out of my hand. So I'm planning on taking this life because I still have the blocker Sabo, and I feel like if he decides to jam 10, I'll just block. And because I'll be at 10 dot next turn, I'll be able to do my Gekkomoria combo and just being able to go wide and start causing problems for my opponent. And he does decide to jam for 10, and I just block, which I don't mind, just because I'm going to be able to do my combo play by pitching a card to reset my life. And here I just pitch a baby Sabo, so I'll be able to bring another Sabo when I use my Gekkomoria. So I use my leader ability, bringing Ace and Sabo at the bottom, just so I can protect everything. And this is the big combo play where I play Gekkomoria and I play my 2 little weenies. And I pop off, and my leader becomes a 9k leader for this turn. And I'll be able to swing big, and hopefully force my opponent to use resources or even block with the characters that he has on board, which is going to be pretty easy since he only has 2 cards in hand. So by doing this, it's going to apply a lot of pressure. My opponent was nice enough to let me borrow his dice, and I start off with a 7k swing at his face, forcing. He has 2 cards in hand, so that's forcing him to block. And then right here I'm swinging 11 with my leader, and that with 2 cards in hand, either he needs to block, which he does here, or take the life. And then I pass as a 9k leader and a whole bunch of cards in hand, hoping to do another Gekamoria next turn as well. And here my opponent just takes some time to think, and I just organize my trash. He's just trying to figure out his best possible play. I'm sure if he had a Gekamoria now, he would just play on a heartbeat, bringing back the Rebecca, reducing something, leader ability, being able to do some crazy combos with this Kyros deck. But I don't think he has. I don't think he has a Gekamoria in hand, so he's doing a lot of thinking, contemplating on how to start his turn. And right here, he just starts off swinging 7 at my ace, and I just let it go, just because I have that Gekamoria in my hand already, and I can just bring it right back. And my opponent here just plays another blocker Sabo, drawing 2 and pitching 2, and he's contemplating what to really pitch here. And after he pitches those 2, he plays a Viola blocker and passes it to me. So it looks like he is just turtling up this turn, and I don't want to relieve any pressure, so I put 2 on my leader, planning on doing another Gekamoria and leader ability, so I can apply the pressure, bring back another blocker ace, so I'm in a more comfortable position to just continue to aggressively go for my opponent's life. And I swing Sir 7, but I made a mistake. I needed to Sabo ability, which my opponent was nice enough to let me do. And even though I Sabo ability, there wasn't much that I really wanted to like cycle through. So I just pitched just cards I felt like I didn't need, like a 2k, and I already had a Monkey D. Luffy in hand, so I pitched that as well. So I swing 7. And then I swing 9 with my Gekamoria, seeing what he would do, which he takes, and he goes to 0 life, and I swing 11, forcing him to block, and putting him on trying to kill me this turn, which is going to be very difficult because I'm a 9k leader with 2 Sabo blockers on board that cannot be KO'd. And here my opponent swings for 9 with his Sabo blocker. At this point I have so many counters in hand, the only difficult decision is seeing what card to really counter with. And then my opponent swings for 9 again, and I just block. And at this point my opponent GG's. Thank you for watching the final round of my local videos. Ciao!